James Carpenter with Country Living. Welcome to my channel and thank you for watching my videos. We're going to do some wiring today in the shipping container pole barn. We're going to wire up some receptacles in the conduit that we hung in the last video. Right now I'm preparing the receptacles. What you see there is I'm breaking the ears off the receptacle. They are actually going to be in the way of that cover plate. Here I'm stripping the wire ends, and what we're going to do on the wire ends is a little bit not so typical. We're going to take those butt connectors you see in the upper right hand corner and we are going to crimp them onto the wire. Now the reason I do that is to ensure a really good connection. So we're using the yellow butt connectors. They're capable of holding two 12 gauge wires if necessary. And then you put them on the receptacle and you take that drill motor with a square drive bit and you tighten the screws up. So here we're putting the receptacle in the cover plate, and this is exposed conduit, so that cover plate's not plastic, it's metal. So I'm screwing the receptacle into the cover plate. Now the reason we busted those ears off is because they would have been too long to fit down into the cover plate. So I'm removing screws, inserting the wire through the pipe to the next 4 square box. Just put the ground wires, tighten the ground wire down to the box. Now we're going to put that cover plate on the 4 square box. There's 2 screws, and there's actually 4 holes in the cover plate, but only 2 screws hold it on. One in this corner and one in the corner diagonally from it. Get that second screw started. You always want to make sure that all your wires are completely in the box. You don't want to pinch your wires with the cover plate when you tighten it down. Okay, right here I'm removing the screws that are in those ears. Those screws would typically be used to hold that receptacle into the box, but we don't need it. I'm putting them back together and laying them there on a table. What I'll do is I'll put those in a little baby food jar and just hang on to them. You never know when you might need one, so it's nice to have them on hand if you do need them. Here we go. We get those ears off of there. We're stripping about a 1/4 inch of wire off of this wire, and then we're putting those butt connectors on there, and I'm using that tool with the red handles as a crimping tool. And you'll notice how I set it on the table and then I use my body weight to crimp it. I want to make sure I get an extremely good crimp, and after I crimp them on there, you'll see how I tug on them to make sure that they're tight. In the upper right hand corner are spools of electrical wiring. They come in several different colors, but when it comes to electrical wiring, there's basically 3 colors. White is neutral, green is your ground, and any other color you see there would be considered hot. So as long as you can remember, it is between the other. The wire I'm using for this project is 12 gauge wire. This chart in the upper right hand corner shows you the different gauges of wire versus the amperage that the wire can carry, and that also identifies the amperage of the breaker that corresponds with the gauge of the wire. So we are using 12 gauge wire, and we're using 15 amp receptacles. Now I know that sounds conflicting, but it's okay to use a 20 amp breaker with a 15 amp receptacle. Now the one on the left you see in the picture here, or the one in the right actually, with the little slot coming off to the side, that is an actual 20 amp receptacle rated at 20 amps. I'm going to wire 7 total receptacle boxes, but I'm only going to show you the wiring on 2. As far as the grounds go, all the grounds are being wire netted together and also grounded to the conduit through the back of the 4 square box. Very nice, neat, professional job. I think I mentioned in my last video, my dad was a union guy, a union electrician, and I learned electrical wire from him. It's come in handy throughout my lifetime. Saved me a lot of money in paying electricians. So I want to thank you for watching my video. If you're already subscribed, thank you for subscribing. If you're not subscribed and you enjoy my content, by all means subscribe.